Chicago is a city rich with historic neighborhoods, one of which is Washington Park. It has served as a home for waves of immigrants, from Studs Lonigan's Irish to the Greek and Jewish communities who sought neighborhoods they could call their own. But the turn of the century apartment boom, followed by the great migration of African Americans from the South, resulted in Washington Park transitioning into a predominantly African American community by the late 1930s. And of course, that deeply religious community that had relied on its faith to sustain it from slavery through Jim Crow immediately began establishing churches to provide places of both solace and celebration. St. Edmunds Episcopal Church was one of the first and largest of these churches. As the neighborhood flourished, Washington Park and St. Edmunds emerged as a cultural center and home to many upper-income black families, including many celebrities. The turbulent 60s saw a number of positive and negative forces come together to take a toll on the Washington Park neighborhood and its residents. As fair housing became the law of the land, many middle and upper-income families were able to move into newly constructed housing in what were viewed as more desirable neighborhoods and the suburbs. At the same time, a large number of high-rise public housing units were dumped into the area. The result was a reduction in population as well as the flight of many area churches and businesses. The classic architecture and large apartment units gave way to abandoned buildings and vacant lots scattered throughout the neighborhoods. The declining conditions continued well into the 1980s. While Washington Park was experiencing the closing of many churches, the St. Edmunds Parish chose to remain through these difficulties. In 1989, Father Richard L. Tolliver joined St. Edmunds Parish as rector, and Washington Park gained a visionary for its future.
When I arrived in June of 1989, it was very clear that disinvestment had occurred in what had been once a very thriving mixed income neighborhood, and that if anyone was going to undertake becoming a catalyst to revitalize the neighborhood, it would have to be a stakeholder that really had an investment in terms of human capital, at least, and facilities. And so we were the natural stakeholder to undertake the mission to begin the revitalization of this neighborhood.
Father Tolliver's extensive education and experience gained both stateside and abroad prepared him for the task at hand. He realized that the fate of the parish, which had served as an inspiration for so many, was inextricably tied to the fate of the Washington Park neighborhood.
The inspiration for the vision that has resulted in the revitalization of Washington Park occurred within strategic planning sessions of the Board of Directors of St. Edmunds Church. We did what's called in strategic planning terminology a SWOT analysis. We looked at the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats that this community offered, and we decided that we were going to turn threats into opportunities. And out of that emerged 3 areas that we had to address. Well, actually 4 areas. We had to re-energize a somewhat dispirited congregation. We had to revitalize the housing stock. St. Edmunds had a long history in involvement in elementary education in this community. We wanted to recommit ourselves to that. And there was an issue of security, and we wanted to address that issue. So those 4 pillars became the foundation of our vision for revitalizing this community.
In 1990, in response to these pressing community needs, Father Tolliver formed the St. Edmunds Redevelopment Corporation with the vision of revitalizing the deteriorating housing stock of Washington Park as a first step towards the comprehensive revitalization, indeed rebirth, of the once vibrant community.
I see the work of St. Edmunds in the community as being an emblem of the kind of work that the church should be about broadly. It's an important instance of what the rebirth and renewal business actually looks like. That's about much more than a church. It's about the whole community. At the center of the seal, it's on my ring actually, the sign, official sign of the Diocese of Chicago. At the center of that seal is a phoenix. The phoenix, rising from the ashes, is an ancient symbol for the resurrection of Jesus, which is the rebirth renewal part for the church. But it's also a direct reference to the rebirth of the city of Chicago after the Great Fire. That rebirth, that renewal for this city took the combined efforts of people of faith in churches, of politicians, government, philanthropists, and ordinary citizens. In other words, it took all of us to rise from the ashes and create this great city. The work that St. Edmunds now continues in its part of the city is no less about the partnership of all of us, people of faith, church people, government, and ordinary men and women. It's an important piece of work, and it is leading to rebirth and renewal.
St. Edmunds Redevelopment Corporation has since developed over 600 units in 26 buildings throughout Washington Park. St. Edmunds has made its focus the areas between 55th Street and 63rd Street, and west to State Street and east to King Drive. The first development project was named St. Edmunds Place and was completed in 1992. The diverse St. Edmunds Redevelopment Corporation portfolio now includes St. Edmunds Village, a high-rise building with a doorman. St. Edmunds Meadows is a former public housing project turned into beautiful 3- and 4-bedroom townhouses with balconies and a courtyard. St. Edmunds Plaza consists of 6 completely rehabbed vintage buildings with classic architecture, featuring the very large apartments that were common at the turn of the century. There are newly constructed townhomes with spacious living rooms and kitchens and duplex floor plans that facilitate family living at St. Edmunds Commons. The latest project is St. Edmunds Court, a newly rehabbed building featuring a playground and many other amenities. St. Edmunds units feature modern appliances and updated kitchens and bathrooms. Apartment configurations include 1, 2, 3, and 4-bedroom units. There are various rent and benefit structures to meet the needs of any family. All of the St. Edmunds buildings are maintained meticulously and live up to Father Tolliver's vision of bringing quality, affordable housing and a secure living environment to Washington Park. Longtime residents in St. Edmunds properties are proof of the customer service and attentiveness St. Edmunds provides its tenants.
It's more than just housing, collecting rent. We're involved. We're a force in the community. We're here, we have social settings, we have different events that we sponsor and partner with St. Edmunds all the time. Our tenants deserve quality, and we ensure that they get it. So you get a professional team, you get 24-hour response time, you get a community, you get security and peace of mind.
I actually like the neighbors that I have downstairs. We're kind of like a family down there, so I like that. That's what I like about St. Edmunds.
St. Edmunds' commitment to the overall quality of life in Washington Park is evident throughout the neighborhood, as evidenced by its hosting of the Chicago International Charter School Washington Park campus, and by its recent partnership with Build On, a nationally acclaimed after-school program to develop and operate a youth engagement center for the young people of Washington Park. This underlying service to others is truly in line with St. Edmunds' faith-based foundation. Its congregation has a tradition of fellowship through worship and social activities that weave a connection of its members through faith. This philosophy through to the neighborhood it serves. Being present in the community and promoting fellowship amongst its residents is a strong part of the difference St. Edmunds makes in Washington Park.
People often ask me, when they look at my credentials, I recall I was interviewed by someone from Business Week magazine, and in the article he said, when you look at my credentials, I hardly don't look like someone who would be toiling in the hood, so to speak, given many other options that I have. And what drives me at this point is the affirmations that I've received from people throughout Chicago who look at what we're doing here and saying, you're making a real difference in improving the quality of life for many people. So it's the people who are driving me on.
The backbone of any community is its elders, and St. Edmunds Redevelopment Corporation has not left them behind. St. Edmunds Tower is a new construction independent senior living facility. Its air-conditioned, spacious units feature modern kitchens and amenities, including on-site laundry, elevators, garden patio, and social room.
Some of the non-tangible amenities that we have here at St. Edmunds Tower include the sense of community that we provide to our residents. Many of our residents that come here usually are coming from environments where they've had their own homes, and this community provides them a place to remove the isolation that some of them may actually feel as a result of becoming empty nesters within their own family environments. And we believe here at St. Edmunds that we provide a welcoming, loving, supportive community for our residents to enjoy.
A vision of St. Edmunds' magnitude is not achieved without outside support, and Father Tolliver found that support in the many relationships he has developed over the years.
Government funding is vital to the support of St. Edmunds Redevelopment Corporation projects. Studies clearly show in neighborhoods that have had a high disinvestment, it takes a massive infusion of public funds to restore private sector confidence in these kinds of neighborhoods.
If the past is any indication of the future, St. Edmunds will continue to change the landscape in Washington Park and will complete its mission to improve the quality of life for its surrounding community for generations to come. That'll be accomplished through the creation of a community of diverse incomes where all are welcome and treated as valued members of the community. For those who believe that nothing can be done to turn around low-income minority areas, we invite you to visit St. Edmunds and the new Washington Park. For more information on St. Edmunds Redevelopment Corporation, visit www.stedmundsrc.org. For more information on St. Edmunds Church, visit www.stedmundschicago.com.